Good morning. I'm in the sweatshirt, but I'm not Alex, obviously. So I'm Angela Cripps, and I get to do my first ever webinar with the wonderful Claire. Good morning, Claire.
Good morning, Angela. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone else as well.
Happy Friday, Carol. Carol's. I think it's a thing now, isn't it, Carol? You've got to be in there first if someone else gets in there first. Not happy. So we've had a full-on week. I can't believe it's Friday already. It's gone so quickly this week. Yesterday I was thinking it's Tuesday, isn't it? And then I realised, no, I'm not even a day out. I'm 2 days out. It's just flown by. So what have you been up to then this week?
I'm the same as you, Angela. It has been a full-on week. I've been helping a lot of my clients, and I'm really talking to my clients now because people are going back to work after furlough. So I'm really talking with them about what are they expecting. Things are changing again. My youngest has gone back to school. That was a big change for our family. So yeah, things are changing.
Well, that's the thing. Alan and I on the Alaska Cripps and Clark 2 weeks ago, I think it was now, did the wind of change because we could feel it happening, and there was discussion that was going on, and literally we hit the first week of June. And a lot of my clients have said we did more business in the first week of June than we did in the whole of May. So there was literally that switch. And of course, next week we've got all the shops opening and more flexibility and more opportunities. So I think it was what we thought was going to happen is actually happening in June, which is great to see. Everything's moving. So please feel free to share in the sidebar if you have been seeing that yourself, if you've had some positives this week. It's always great to get everyone involved and sharing those. So what have you been talking about this week then, Claire?
I think something that's come to light, and I've just put it in the chat, is that we're really looking at what has made us happy during lockdown, what makes us happy in our jobs, what makes us happy to go forward, and also what makes us happy in life. And it's really come to light for me because with mental health, we need to be working on our mental health continuously. I call it emotional fitness. And for us to be able to work on our emotional fitness, we really need to understand what makes us happy. So, Angela, what makes you happy?
Well, I certainly know that developing people and supporting people makes me happy because at 18, I was training sort of these 40-year-old guys in financial services. I was a financial advisor before I got into recruitment. And actually just showing them how to do things and get things right. And therefore people got paid and they got their commission and the policies went through okay. I latched on very early that this makes me happy. So my first interview in recruitment, I said, have you got a training department? So therefore I was so lucky to find that early on and know that makes a difference. So this week I've been doing some coaching sessions with the leadership and management program that we're doing, and those one-to-ones with individuals working on their business plan, would you believe, for this year? Because we did business planning and goal setting last week. If you didn't see that video, it was brilliant. Go and have a look. We had Ross Benham from Orion Electrotech, and I'm getting a lot of feedback. So if you're watching, Ross, that people liked what you look like as well as what you said.
Okay, I'm gonna go watch that one.
One of my clients said, I could have just turned the sound off. It didn't matter. I was just happy watching him all.
Oh, wow. Love it.
That's a nice bit of positive feedback. And that made me smile. So people sharing what they're doing, moving forward, that opportunity that all of a sudden we're actually thinking about business plans. And okay, we didn't do the 3-year one that we might normally do. We actually went with the rest of the year. So 6 months, what's the next 2 quarters, planning those out. And by the end of it, you could see people like, okay, I know what I'm going to be doing. I've got a plan. I've got a direction now. We can all get back together. And with people coming back from furlough, obviously that makes a difference for them to see there's a plan as well. So I think that's probably one of the best things. There's loads of things. What makes you happy?
Well, it's really interesting because when I was first in recruitment, what made me happy were things like being able to go out and party, being able to buy that new car, being able to afford a flat, all of these things it's actually called being on that hedonic treadmill. Hedronic, HEDRONIC.
Okay.
The hedronic treadmill, and we're going and wanting to achieve more and more and more and more. And what I've realized through life, and I love the way that your face lit up. And what actually makes me happy are the simpler things in life, the things like helping people, the things like, seeing my kids being happy and laughing, the things like sitting down and having a cup of tea and just relaxing. And this is getting off that hedronic treadmill and realizing that all of these quick fixes, like getting that new Porsche, getting that new car, they may make us happy for a short term. Do they make us happy for the long term? And do they make us really content and happy in life? And something that I have really come to light with in understanding throughout lockdown is that exercise makes me happy. Now, Angela, I'm going to ask you, back in the 80s and 90s, were you an exerciser? Did you exercise? Or not?
Yeah, I'm sort of humming and hawing here.
Yeah.
I struggle with weight. I go up and down about 3 stone. That's sort of my. And
I'm a bit the same. Yeah,
I can do that every decade. I'll be up 3 stone, down 3 stone. I'm smack in the middle at the moment, actually. So that's interesting. So therefore, there'll be times where I'll suddenly put a load of effort in and lose probably 1.5 stone, 2 stone in a few months and feel great about it. But I've never been able to make it as a habit. I've never been able to keep it up. So during the lockdown, if you can hear my dogs, I've just realised I locked them out and I forgot to let them back in again. So they're like, let me in. But walking them and doing longer walks every day. So whereas it would be a quick walk before, we did 10K last weekend. By the end of it, the little pug was actually shattered, and there's a ford that runs over the road by the bridge in the village, and he literally just sat down in it in the water. He'd had enough. So walks make him so happy, but actually we just went a little bit too far then, and maybe it was a bit too warm as well. But you're right, that exercise, you always feel so much better after you've done it, don't you?
Now, I'm going to pick you up, Angela. I'm not picking on you here. I'm just picking you up. I asked you the question, did you exercise in the 80s and 90s? You went straight to, I struggle with weight. Now, I exercised in the 80s and 90s because I struggled with weight.
Yeah.
And because we exercised, because we felt guilty for what we ate.
Yeah.
And we should actually be exercising as a celebration of what our bodies can do to make us happy.
You're
it's a
right.
different mindset. So
Yeah.
What I've learned over lockdown is I'm exercising to make me happy. I'm loving exercise, whereas before I used to do my body balance classes. That's yoga, Pilates, and Tai Chi, a mixture. And I used to do them and I think, oh gosh, I wish we were on to section 8 now. This is getting a bit boring. Now I'm going, oh yeah, I'm loving this section because this really gets my body going this way. And I'm looking forward to exercising every day. So it's back to what is our mindset, what really makes us happy. And if we can change our mindset, let's exercise to make us happy instead of let's exercise because we're being really bad on our diet this week.
Yeah, you're right. The exercise is always linked to I need to get some weight off. But there was one time in my early 30s where I didn't. I did it regularly 3 times a week for a year. I lost the 3 stone, so it was the reason to start with. But I felt so much more in control of my body. And I was amazed seeing these people that are amazing dancers and you watch them and think, oh, how do they do that? And then you realize that actually if you train your body and you get the muscles in the right places, you feel so much more in control. So even just walking along or walking in a training course, you think, I'm actually controlling this rather than I'm just sort of lumbering around.
Brilliant. I absolutely love that. So there's a man who has written a lot of books called Martin Seligman. He is an American psychologist. And Martin his books are all about having authentic happiness. And his research has proven that people don't really understand what makes them happy. So if we can work it out, and Sarah's just put a wonderful comment that I'll have to read out. What makes me happy is how busy we have been more recently. 3 successful placements and Ant Middleton in SAS Who Dares Wins. Okay, great. Well done, Sarah.
He's made his way back then, has he? He's atoned for his sins at the start of the virus. He was on our first ever Last Crips and Clark webinar because we were calling people out. We were naming and shaming, and unfortunately, Ant Middleton's video at the time. But you're right. He's one of those people that you sort of buy into him, and you want him to do well. You want them to do well, and that SAS, I did enjoy that. I was annoyed at Jordan dropping out at the first chance, but then I looked at it and think, I couldn't have lifted that barrel above my head. There's no way. But that being busy, that was going to be my other answer around. I've been so busy these last 3 months and not having had a break. I'm shattered. But that's what's really made me enjoy, and I've worked so much more than I normally would. I set up my business as a lifestyle business, so I only worked 50 to 60 days a year for the last 15 years. I mean, that's what I did. And it's all changed, and the opportunity that's out there, and getting involved with the gym. Hello, from those. It's been great because I get to work with people like you. All of a sudden, we're a team. Whereas I've been on my own probably for a good 10 years since Fiona Lander and working with Lander Associates. So that teamwork, I think that came up in last week's, didn't it? About what makes you happy, and also finding people that I didn't know. So just to share this with you, Rebecca Shannon, if you're on, shout out. Right at the beginning, we reached out to each other and said, how are you doing and how's things? And I met her at the end of last year. So I've not physically seen her or been with her since, met her once. And we got on so well. So these relationships have come up. So we check in half hour every week, catch up, what we're doing. And we realised our chats actually would make a good podcast. So we're going to create that out of it as well. So we're going to start doing that. It's all these opportunities that have come up, and people supporting each other and helping each other. That makes me happy, definitely.
Brilliant. And you've said quite a few things there. And I think one of them is people. And another one is positive people. I'm finding I'm connecting with positive people because they make me happy. And we've also mentioned smiling. You said the wording, put a smile on my face. When we smile, the hormones in our body change. It lifts our palate and it makes us feel good. So what can we do to smile? And laughter. Laughter gets those endorphins going, that elation going, which is absolutely brilliant.
Hence the Last Crips and Clark, because I've worked with Alan for 23 years now. We had about a 12-year gap where we didn't work together, and we've come back together in this last year, and he makes me laugh all the time. It doesn't matter whether it's a look on his face or a stupid outfit that he creates from nothing, like the Prince Philip outfit. He made all the epaulets. He's like a whole Blue Peter in one room. I think it helps having all the grandchildren. He's got all these opportunities, but he just makes me laugh. Yeah.
And yeah, he makes me laugh. I don't know him as well as you do. The times I've had interaction with him, I have not stopped laughing. I felt great afterwards. Absolutely brilliant. So this leads on to my webinar on Monday. Very excited. I've had some brilliant guests. Absolutely brilliant.
Yes. So, who's your guest on Monday?
A lady called Laurie West, who is an amazing lady who has had a very interesting life. She's been a psychotherapist, and now she delivers mental health first aid training. So she knows a lot about the psychotherapy side of mental health. And she's giving a talk on how do you respond in times of crisis.
Look at that, seamless. I got the link in just as you said.
Oh, aren't we great? What a team.
Nothing else has been seamless this morning. It's been all over the place, but that bit works quite well.
Love it. So I'm really looking forward to 2:00 Monday, my webinar with Laurie. And I am actually running workshops on a Wednesday afternoon on returning to work after furlough and how do we cope with that. So they're 2-hour virtual workshops. So I can send you the link.
We're getting a lot on that at the moment, and therefore you've written a blog for us on that, so that's great. We'll be sharing that. Team next week, they're looking at people coming back from furlough, and I think that is logically the next stage, isn't it? Back to our theme for today, how can we make everyone happy in the team, because that's a huge subject. So we won't go into it now. Next week we'll be picking up on that one as well, with regards to the furlough and bringing people back and making sure that it all works well, because there's that potential, certainly how to respond in times of crisis. For me, that stimulus response. It's like someone will say something and it will trigger you off, and all of this going on. I think furlough is one of those words. And weirdly enough, I was watching an old medium that used to really make me happy, and I saw it on there and I thought, you know what, I never saw the last few series. I'm going to download them and watch them. And the guy in it said, I've been furloughed, and this was like the mid-90s, and I was like, I know what that means.
I had never heard the word before lockdown. And I felt really good because a lady I know who is a solicitor, an employment solicitor, said, I'd never heard the word before lockdown. I thought, oh, phew, I thought it was just me being
No, all of us. So we're all in that together. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So to sum up today then, think about today, what makes you happy, not just for the short term, but for the long term as well. And I am going to change my mindset with regards to activity. Doing exercise, and I'm going to work on that myself. That's going to be my one for today, that I'm not doing activity to try and shift a bit of weight. I'm doing it to be more in control of my body, because I can remember how that felt when I was a good 2 stone lighter than I was now. Okay, fantastic. Thanks ever so much, Claire.
Thank you, Angela.
Link in the sidebar if you want to find out more about how to respond in times of crisis. So great to see Laurie. I'll be on that one on Monday afternoon. Have a great weekend, everyone. And
have a happy weekend. Happy weekend.
Happy weekends. And if you don't feel that happy, join Alan and I at 4:15 for Less Crips and Clark. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.